Good evening, everybody. I hope you had a good day. We are going to design our second mechanical joint. So this is going to be example 2. Let's go ahead and get started. Change your workbench to part design. Click on create new. Click on create body. Click on create sketch. Click on XY plane. So we should have our Cartesian coordinates ready for us to design. Let's go ahead and draw a circle. Okay, let's give it a radius constraint of 30. Press enter. So we have that fully constraint. Click on close. Click on pad and give it a value of 60. Okay, rotate your pad. Click at the bottom. Click on create sketch. We have our Cartesian coordinate again. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw a rectangle. Okay. Go ahead and click on the lower dimension. Give it a dimension of 46. Okay. Okay, so go ahead and click on horizontal constraint again. Click that center point and the top point and give it a constraint of 23. So we want to center it. We want to center our square along this point. After you have that set up, go ahead and click on this edge and give it a constraint of 75. So we have our rectangle fully constrained, but we're not yet done. So go ahead and click on this arc tool, endpoints and rim points. Click on the first point, click on the second point, and then just click, don't click on the line, just click somewhere out of that line. Go ahead and click on the radius constraint, click on that arc and give it a radius of 23. Okay. So after we do that, we are going to select that middle line and delete it. Select these points and click on the coincidence constraint. Select also these points and click on the coincidence constraint. Okay, so after we do that, we are going to click on this second dimension, that is a horizontal constraint. Click on this second dimension and give it 75, but that will come automatically, and then click on OK. So we have our second sketch complete. Go ahead and click on close. Click on pad. Click on reverse and give it a value of 15 and click OK. Okay, so at this point, our part should look this way. Go ahead and click on the bottom face again and click create sketch. Okay, we are going to draw another rectangle. Okay, so go ahead and select that line. Make sure we're touching this line and draw another rectangle. Let's go ahead and select the bottom constraint and this time give it a value of 60, which will be almost the same as the radius of the circle. Click on this horizontal constraint, click on that point, click that point and give it a constraint of 30 so that it's centered in the middle. So we can just remove that so we're sure of what we're seeing. Can always pull this on the side. After that, let's go ahead and click on the horizontal vertical constraint and give it a value of 75. Okay, so we are done with our second sketch. Go ahead and click on close. Go to the model. Make sure you still have sketch selected. Click attachment, click position, go to the Z and give it -15. Press enter. Then click on pad and give it a pad of 5. That will be a pad of 45 and reverse it. Want it to match this. So if we get our 45 plus our 15, we get our 60. So we subtracted the 15, so we remain with a 45. Remember to select reverse and click on OK. So this is how our part should now look like. Okay, so let's center it again. Select this face and click on sketch. We're going to set up construction points. So click on this tool, click on that line, click that line, click that line, and also click on that line. Okay, so after we do that, let's go ahead and draw another rectangle. Don't attach it to this center point, just leave it floating like there. Okay, so after we have it floating, what we're going to do is we're going to set up some constraints. Let's go ahead and click on that horizontal constraint. Click on that point, and that should be approximately, let's see, 25. That should be around 25. Okay, and then what we're also going to do is we're going to select that horizontal constraint and then click that point and this upper point, and we shall give it a constraint of 60. Okay, let me pull this on the side so you guys can see it clearly. Okay, so let's go ahead and click on this tool again. So you'll be selecting that point, and make sure it lines up with that. So you should have something of the sort. So go ahead and click on trim. We're going to trim that edge and also trim that edge and delete out that edge. Okay, so after we have that, we're going to put back our radius constraint here, and we already have it at 30. So let me first remove it so you guys know what we're doing. Let's delete. Make sure we're clicking on this edge. Okay, just to be sure. Select that edge, give it a radius constraint of 30. It was selecting the lower one, that's why you see it was turning blue. So make sure you're selecting the top edge and give it a radius constraint of 30. And then what we're going to do is we're going to select these coincidence, those points, and click on coincidence, and also select on that and click on coincidence. And that should fully constrain our sketch. Go ahead and click on close. Then click on pocket, and let's give it a pocket of 30. Yep. So we need this and this to be the same. So 30 down plus 15, that will be 45, plus 15, that will be 60, which is equivalent to this distance. Okay, so after we have that selected, go ahead and click on that pocket again, and this time click on mirror and click OK. So it should have something looking like this. Okay, so let's go ahead and click this face. Please note, it's this face. Click that face and click sketch again. You can click this so you can see what you're doing. Okay, so let's go ahead and draw a floating rectangle, something of the sort. So let's go ahead and set up some constraints. Horizontal. From that spot to that spot, we're going to give it a constraint of 20. Okay, and then from that spot, let's do vertical. From that spot to that spot, we shall be giving it a vertical constraint of 15, so it can line up with this face. Okay, so let's stretch this so you can see it. And also stretch this down so you can see it. Okay, so after we are done with that, we're going to go ahead and set up horizontal constraints to this edge, and that edge will be 45. So from here up to the top is actually 45. So we're also going to set up a horizontal constraint on that edge, and that will be 35. Okay, so our interest isn't actually drawing a rectangle. We need to draw a triangle to reinforce, to give more support to this lower part by anchoring it on this circle. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on the line tool, make sure you select that point, and also click on that point. So, and you can go ahead and delete out those edges, and then go ahead and select that edge and give it a coincident constraint, and that should fully constrain our triangle. Okay, so after we do that, we can go ahead and click on close. You can see now we have our triangle up and ready. So go ahead and click on pad. So this time we're going to click on reverse, and we shall leave it at 10 and click on OK. So once we look at our part, you can see it's also centered. Let me bring this in view. You can see it's fully centered. The triangle is going to provide support to this lower edge, right? So we are done with drawing all the main bodies. So we're going to go ahead and do pockets. Remember, in the last example, I indicated it's always better to draw the faces before drawing the pockets. So let's go ahead and start drawing the pockets. We shall start with this face. Go ahead and click on that face and click sketch. Once we have our face ready, go ahead and click on the circle tool. Click that center point and click that. Go ahead and give it a radius constraint. And that radius constraint is going to be 20. Okay. And we shall go ahead and click on close. And then pocket. and we shall set it to through hole, and okay. So we now have that in. Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and click this face again and click sketch. We're going to draw another circle. So make sure we're drawing it on this line. And you're going to give it a radius constraint of 10 and a vertical distance from there to there of 75. Okay. Once we are done with that, go ahead and click close, click on pocket and select through hole. Okay. So we are done with that. So rotate our part. We are going to select the back point and then first click OK, select that face and then click sketch. So we shall be looking at it from the back. Once we do that, we're going to draw another circle. We're going to give it a radius constraint of 8. We're going to give it a vertical constraint from that spot to that spot. That will be 45. And then we shall also give it a horizontal constraint from that point to that point. That will be 17.5. Okay, so we shall have something of the sort. After we're done, go ahead and click on close. And then you're going to click pocket. And this time you're going to leave it at dimension. And we shall give that dimension 15, right? So that will punch in only this dimension. It won't go through to the circle. So if you look at this, let me bring it this side. Let me bring it in view. So you can see we have the hole through there. So let's rotate it and we see. So once we're done with that, go ahead and click on OK, and then select that pocket and click on mirror, and then click on OK. Okay. And with that, we have our second mechanical joint completed. Okay. So that's it. That is our second mechanical joint. Please, if you can, subscribe, click on the like button so we could have more views. Thank you and have a good evening. Bye for now.